Welcome back to The Last of Us Remastered. Now we're doing part
Dang
14.
Oh, never mind. Good.
Don't make me go over there.
No. It's funny. Actually, I was about to do it to you, but then you remembered part 14. Good.
Anyway, this is actually what...
Pedro, quiet. It's a stealth section. Whisper it.
That's okay. I'm doing it, not you. Anyway...
Still, though, aren't we supposed to be all quiet and sneaky, like the Pedro Duarte way?
So yeah, like I was saying, this is actually one of the hardest sections in the game if you want to stealth your way through, because...
you say that a lot.
I do?
Yeah, it's like
this is
almost every time we come to a
hardest,
stealthy,
Pedro,
this is one of the hardest.
Pedro,
I don't remember saying it all that much,
but
but
you're not good at video games.
Well, fine. If you fine. If you think you're so much better than me, why don't you want to do the rest of this game then?
I've never played it, so.
Well, too bad then.
Well, it just depends on your skill. I mean,
be careful. We got one of them tripwires from the Saw video game.
It's not a tripwired web. It's a wire that's connected to a grenade. So
that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's a tripwire. The definition of a tripwire, anyway. I know that the name suggests that you actually have to trip on it, but a tripwire is pretty much the ignition wire for a bomb.
Then they should change it to bomb wire or something.
That's a bit of a dumb
name.
Hey!
I like descriptive names that make it clear what the thing is. Okay.
Yeah, but Pedro, we've already got a porno named Bomb Wire. That would just confuse people.
I mean, by that logic, Pedro, what are we going to have next? A keyboard hand, a phone button,
a finger pad.
Anyway, like I was saying, it can get pretty tricky to stealth kill everybody in here. Because, as you can see, there's plenty of people going around through various walking patterns, so it can be really hard to not get seen. So if you're going to do this, I recommend you do this slowly and calmly. Take them out slowly, one by one, when you're sure you can do it, because one tiny mistake can mean detection. There you go. See, there you go. See, there you go. See, in order to get to this particular cover, I had to. You guys are the by Guz, right? That means that I briefly passed through the field of vision of someone. Fortunately, I was quick enough to make sure he wouldn't notice me. But you're gonna have to make a lot of risks in this scene, in this sequence. Sorry. To also no hope there in the background. If you want to stealth kill everybody here. Especially if you're playing ungrounded.
What, does Joe get grounded for not?
No, grounded is the hardest difficulty in the game. Basically, one shot is all it takes to kill you. Get it? Grounded in reality, one shot kills you. Get it? So yeah, there you go. That guy doesn't move from there. Not the one that's walking right now, the other one on the left. Like, that guy is one of the hardest ones to get through because there's no clear way to, unless of course you kill everybody else and leave him for last. But of course there's also, but trust me, there's going to be other guys on top of the buildings that can also be quite tricky to avoid.
You know, I don't know who to feel more sorry for. The ones we kill or the ones we just knock out and are going to wake up finding themselves all alone in fields of dead bodies amongst what used to be their comrades.
It's kill or be killed.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, there you go.
So, you know, I just realized...
By the way, Sherry, I left you a message in the chat.
I wonder, what's with the lack of female mooks in this game? Aside from, obviously, the zombies.
Because Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley are a bunch of sexist prudes.
Clearly.
Don't you mean sexist pigs?
We women can be evil
too.
Prudes,
pigs, people like
that. Don't worry, Shiro. Remember, that's what Nadine from Uncharted 4 is for.
Yay.
That's what. You know what? I'm not gonna say it because
we also had Marlo in Uncharted 3.
That's what Lucifer's for.
Not like the main bad guy.
Yeah, Lucifer.
Lucifer.
By the way, Sherry, I left you a message in the chat. I wonder, what's with the lack of female mooks in this game? Because Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley are a bunch of sexist prudes.
Aside from, obviously, the zombies.
Yeah, yeah. Lucifer. Lucifer. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If Yamazaki doesn't make that a character in Ace Attorney 7, I'm going to be upset. Or
We've
whoever's
already
making that
got a
game.
Lucifer.
Oh,
And don't
that's
spoil Dwibs.
Well,
Yeah,
Dubs, at this
And don't spoil Deji.
well, Dubs,
oh, that's cute. You think we're gonna get Ace Attorney 7?
well, Dubs, at this point, if there,
Uh,
Getting a new Mega Man game.
do you have any idea,
Oh,
Deji, how successful Ace Attorney 6 was?
No,
yeah, I mean,
know.
Ace Attorney 6 topped Japanese charts. It topped the American 3DS eShop chart. Also, to be fair, Ace Attorney's still been continuing to this day. I mean, let's Deji. Honest trailers themselves said, "Sorry, Mega Man. Looks like you should have gotten a law degree to stay relevant."
Well done. Well, if that's true, why isn't Ace Attorney and Marvel vs. Capcom
Since there are no silencers in this
A
game,
lot of characters aren't in that game, Deji.
Yeah.
since in this game you don't have silencers for your weapons, if you want to try and stealth kill someone from a distance, your best bet is the bow and arrow, especially because you can actually go back and get the arrows, Breath of the Wild style. So it's a good idea if you're on this bind, on a bind like this. I recommend trying your hand with the bow, because if you do it's quite easy thanks to the good controls to do a really good headshot, and a headshot instantly kills them.
You almost said homing shot.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Pedro. It looks like a homing shot, but it's not quite a homing shot in this case.
As for your question, Dwibs, well, at this point, Dwibs, all of the main Ace Attorney games are done by Yamazaki's team. I think at this point, Takumi only wants to make great Ace Attorney games.
Wait, hold on. When did he bring up Takumi?
No, he was saying that when Yamazaki makes Ace Attorney 7, or whoever's making that game.
Dwibs, what exactly did you say? I recall you just said about Yamazaki making a character.
That's what I said. Either Yamazaki or whoever's directing the next one.
Yeah.
Since they seem to.
Well, it's a bit early to be talking about that.
Joe, I think he was specifically talking about Ace Attorney 7, the next main Ace Attorney game.
There is an Ace Attorney.
But he never brought up Takumi.
I did.
Well, he said Yamazaki or whoever, and the reason I'm saying
or whoever. Whatever.
Well, I mean,
we can
other
go.
welcome
teams
to part
handling someone
37
else's
to
work
the Ace
isn't
Attorney
exactly
4 Apollo Justice playthrough.
Hey, that's gonna be fun still, honestly.
Deji, you. My playthrough of that game will go on for way longer than 37 parts.
Yeah, I know. I fucking know.
Oh,
I
right.
know.
Basically, though, see, here's the thing. Ace Attorney being left out of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is part of the puzzle that ruins that game for the majority. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 still got Mega Man characters in it, thank you very much.
But not Mega Man himself.
Oh, he made it in as a skin.
That doesn't fucking count.
It's his
Look,
series. For
The
goodness
thing
sake.
is, well, see, here's the thing, Deji. Sad as it may be, but true, that wasn't as much a deal breaker as what's being left out of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to that crossover between Persona and Ruby.
Oh, me too.
And
Yes, Persona, Ruby, BlazBlue.
Blaze Blue, of all things.
Yeah.
That's going to be... Okay, seriously, Arc System Works. You can stop killing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Once was enough, but twice is overkill.
Yeah, so basically, I can't wait for the chance where I can have the Persona 4 main character fight against the internet CGI.
So I guess I'll be kicking your butt as Ragna.
Well, I'm not. I've only ever seen like one episode of Ruby, so
I'm talking about Ragna from BlazBlue.
All right,
I haven't played BlazBlue.
All right, so let's channel in 2014 Lara Croft and use the bow and arrow.
The only thing I've learned about BlazBlue is what I've looked into the series and its characters. The only ones I know are like a bit of the main one and another one of the characters that got turned into a girl.
One of my friends is a
Yeah,
fanboy
man.
and was a moderator over at the forums.
Oh, you know about BlazBlue, Shiroi?
Yes.
Who's your favorite character?
I haven't looked into the series myself. I just have a friend who
And
is pretty upset.
Still, there we go.
Doing it Zelda style.
If this was Zelda style, the game would take like 8 weeks to complete.
I don't get it.
The only game that lasts that long to complete is Breath of the Wild.
I don't get it.
It's a Zelda joke, Joe, but don't worry.
I know, but I should get it. I don't get it.
He's implying that Zelda games take a long time to finish, which I don't see.
Really?
All the playthroughs I've seen of that series go on forever.
Well,
You're probably looking at 100% completion ones. Try looking up speed runs. Also, there was a guy who actually, there's this cool gamer who's actually blind, and he managed to play through the entirety of Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm not gonna make that. I won't make that joke. It's too.
Why would you even say that out loud?
Nah, it just came into my mind. But I managed to. But I don't.
You're thinking about the guy who faked his disability for a Kickstarter?
No.
No, I think he was gonna make a blind joke.
Yeah, but
Well,
But
I'm gonna turn my blind eye to that one. See, it's okay when I do it.
well, that's because you're not blind, but
I see what you mean.
You're starting to remind me of
I
that
see
episode.
what you mean. Oh, come on, Joven.
You're starting to remind me, which essentially reminds me of Tim Watley from Seinfeld. Where there was an episode where Tim Watley, the dentist, he converted to Judaism specifically for the joke, so he could make Judaism jokes.
Also, guys, I don't know about you, but according to that sign just then, I don't think this is one of them optimistic kind of games.
What are you saying, Dweebs? Totally, this is about as optimistic as the ever setting of a Far Cry series game.
I was trying to do a headshot, but he's a bit too far for me to get a
Well,
good...
except that one that was set in an 80s-ish place for some reason.
Which one was
Yeah, Blood Dragon?
We're still talking about Far Cry, right?
Yeah. Far Cry 3 had that old school spin-off game.
But to make up for it, at the very least, the throwing the arrow draw them out, so now they're investigating, so maybe I'll be able to catch them in...
Yep.
I'll get it up for you, Joga. Here we go. The one that looks like a mix-up between an 80s film and Solid Snake.
Come on, assholes.
Oh, wow, yeah. That cover.
Yeah.
There's still 3 of them.
It's a shame we
Also-
don't have a giant zombie that can pick them off one by one. Reminds me of how you can do that in Bioshock.
Well, there is one particular section in the Left Behind DLC that I'm going to show that...
I know about that. I was talking mainly about this section right here.
There we go.
And Lord knows one way, good ways to clear enemies in a room in Resident Evil 3 is to have the big guy himself clear the room for you.
Alright, 1 down, 2 to go.
You know one way I'd clear a room in the video game if I could?
What?
Rocket launcher.
Resident Evil 3 twist.
Well, I tried a Resident Evil game, but it wasn't really my thing.
Well, try Resident Evil 3, trust me. Let me put it like this. Okay. Yeah, okay. If you prefer more stealthy, spooky, slow-paced games, Resident Evil's 1, 2...
3 and 7, basically.
Well, 3, I'd say, is quite possibly the best balance that the series has had between action and...
Because seven's just straight out horror, isn't it?
No, it does have combat, it's just that it's very minimized compared to 4, 5, and 6.
Ironically, while 7 is definitely overall acclaimed, it does have a few people who aren't too fond of it because, admittedly, they kind of prefer the more action-oriented Resident Evils, and I can understand why.
That's not Resident Evil, though.
Also, that ending.
Oh, that ending was something else. Honestly, though, Resident Evil can have action in it, as Resident Evil 3 showed.
Oh yeah, of course.
and Resident Evil 4, and Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil 6 was going too far.
Resident Evil
Like,
5 is
seriously.
Resident Evil 5 is where the series
Resident
officially
Evil 8
became
is gonna be.
Michael Bay schlock.
Nope. Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 5, not nearly there.
There we go.
Like, 5 definitely...
There you
had
go.
more things
There you
to
go.
like.
Nobody noticed.
Endure and survive.
Excuse me.
You said it, Ellie.
Savage Starlight. That comic I've been reading? The hero says after a big battle.
Endure and survive.
Yeah.
Sounds very defeatist.
Okay.
I will endure and survive. But what if he said that and he gets killed immediately?
All right. We
It's pretty
succeed.
ironic.
So now that we've killed everybody, let's check out their possessions for things we can use.
The Last of Us of the Dead.
Death for freedom.
Well, in this universe, if I was only given either be a zombie or die, I know which one.
That's why I killed that guy in the beginning of the playthrough.
Unless you could be one of those awesome zombies that gets to keep their consciousness and not be constantly rotting.
It would be so you mean kind of like how Lightning Returns pull that thing where Snow can somehow control himself even in safe state, even though it was never hinted in any way,
Finished
shape, or
scouring
form.
the city for any survivors. There were a handful of soldiers hiding in the hotel. We took care of them. A bunch of us raided their stockade, or what was left of it. Most of the machines got backed up in the fighting. We won't be riding a tank anytime soon. Likewise, none of the code artillery is salvageable. The one exception is the humans. We managed to repair it, including the 50 cal million gun.
So basically what happened is like, well, these guys here actually were being oppressed by the government and they fought back.
The
And
military,
then
but
they-
yeah, sure, I know what you mean.
And then they died.
Well, here's the thing, though. Apparently, the people fighting back against the military, sort of, I'm guessing, are these people who we've been killing because they probably went corrupt and whatnot.
Just to make sure, Jova, is it the military or the CIA?
I really want to forget
But
about
Pedro,
that.
what's the difference?
I really, you know, I hope that we never have to come back to that game after my Let's Play.
No, don't worry. After yours, we're done. Because
Like,
don't worry
like,
about
don't get
that.
me wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm all for, revisiting some of our games, to give updated takes and, better sounding quality takes here and there. But god dang it, with Beyond Two Souls. I mean,
I'm not
admittedly,
touching that again. I've had my Beyond Two Souls fill.
yeah, I'll admit, maybe
Except for our private share play that we will do eventually. Shiro, don't forget about
Yeah.
that.
And
maybe
Detroit.
it's just
Gotta do Detroit.
No, but that trade is natural for the channel. But yeah,
well. Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, part of me kind of did get a bit bored with David Cage, especially since we've had a new rogues gallery to pick on ever since going beyond him.
Ha ha ha, going beyond David Cage.
don't worry, Jova. When we finish Trials and Tribulations and we start Fair and Seraph, you'll have plenty to make fun of.
You know, the sad thing is that I've actually checked out the later Neptunia games with Compound Heart, and yeah, what people say is like, well, it's another one of those cases where it has a shaky start, but the rest of the series, while still maybe having some fan servicey moments, remembers to keep it more in check. In fact, actually manages to be funny with it, if you can actually like the fan servicey kind of humor.
That's just the thing.
Yeah, but that's the problem, Joe. The first game did it so poorly, though.
Well, it's
Hey
not-
guys, we're deconstructing stuff, and by deconstructing we mean just quote the thing because that's construction apparently.
Look, okay. As someone who recognizes that the first one has flaws, I think you're kind of oversimplifying it, even by those standards.
But they kept crying on
Oh.
about how it was a deconstruction. Yet all we got was out of place Pokemon jokes.
Wait, that's only in one scene of the game, though.
True. Yeah.
But
To be
still,
fair.
it's. I know, but still, I mean, even in the context of that scene didn't make any sense.
It didn't at all.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Your mileage is going to vary, but still, though, basing the whole repertoire of
I mean, I
any
feel like
piece of
if you-
media
I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
if
gonna
you-
have to side with Joe on this one. Yeah, that's not exactly fair.
It'd be like if you quoted a line from Uncharted in a Bubsy game.
See,
Hold
let
on,
me put it like this.
billboard. Full of great flavor, Selkirk Lights.
See, let me put it like this, Dwibs. It's look. I will recognize when something's bad, but you'll never see me judge something based off of just one scene. I mean,
Well,
okay,
I've
Jova-
seen more. I've seen
look
more
at it.
than that. Pedro showed me more, and to be
Well,
honest,
well,
they
well,
look
but it was
much
all from the
better.
first game, though, Dwibs. So it's not. I mean, look at it this way, for example, Dwibs. Jova also kinda made that mistake with the first Uncharted game, so I actually had to show him the other following games so he could see how much better they were.
like to best sum it up, the later Neptunia games take the good things from the first one and focus more on the positives, which is actually a thing in a lot of shows that people come to renown and stuff. Like, for as much as we love to talk about how great Avatar: The Last Airbender the show is, when you actually look at season 1, you can find that there are a few stinkers there. The great divide be damned.
I'll admit it's kind of my fault, but it's one of those things where when I play a series, I like to play them in the actual chronological order.
Oh, no.
No?
I agree. In fact,
If it's
I think that there's
story-driven, I like to do that.
honestly, as far as I'm concerned, there's no substitute for doing a game, go in the order of which it was released.
Yeah.
Unless chronologically it works better.
Well, it's just for me, like, because I really wanted, despite of how much better the others are, I still wanted to at the very least finish them in order. Just
I agree,
because
honestly.
if anything, if the later games really do improve upon things, that all the more reason why I want to play the first one first, so I can go up instead of going down.
Yeah.
So the problem is that I kind of stopped playing it because the first game I find it so boring. So like it's not even just the fact that the jokes are not funny. I genuinely find the game boring. It's so boring. Ugh.
Well, for
My
me, it's
guess is like what-
I don't mind
come here.
playing certain series out of order, like even if they are story driven, because you can get some standalone stories in a series.
Sure.
But for me, it's even though preferably I do like to play them in order. If I can't, sometimes that's not always a bad thing, because if you play what may be considered a better game in the series and then going back to playing the first game, it usually makes me want to replay the better later games.
We're almost there.
Heck. I myself will admit that while I did play Kingdom Hearts 1, the first game in the franchise first, I'll admit the gameplay in some regards was kind of a bit of a turn-off to me, and like at first I vowed I wouldn't go to the second one, but then when I got the second one, I forget if I got
The
that
game-
with
the
my
com-
allowance
the
money
combat-
for my
yeah.
birthday.
Military.
Hold
What I'm
on.
saying is like, well,
Hold on, Java.
that's-
Yeah, nice way of saying orphanage. I wonder what happened to all these kids.
Well, this place has been out for a good stretch. They ain't kids no more.
True.
Meaning they're either hunters trying to kill us or they're dead.
Or they got away.
But you don't believe that.
that's
Believe it,
nice.
Get out of this city. Come on.
Follow me, set me free, trust me, and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through. Follow
Hold on,
me.
Jova. Now we're going to do that joke that I was talking about in the previous part. There you go, Dawn of the Wolf.
Hey, there's another one.
The Wolf Among Us, Chapter 2.
Obviously, a take on Twilight, as we're about to see.
Posters are
Just
out.
listen here. I love this joke.
Wait,
Hold on.
let's listen.
Not before the outbreak.
He did? Was he totally gutted by the end?
Nobody gets gutted. It's a dumb teen movie.
Who
Come
dragged you to
on.
see it?
I apologize for being quiet. It's
Yeah,
just
that's a thing. We don't talk about it. Yeah.
Alright.
that's Twilight.
Hey, Dead.
So it's pretty obvious that it's pretty obvious that Sarah was the one who dragged him to the movie.
Also, I just like to apologize for being quiet. It's just a little bit. I can't really talk right now, so
Sure.
yeah. My
It's
bad.
okay, Dad.
Anyway, like what I was saying earlier is that like
Oh no, it's a gun truck! We really do need to escape from the
Carry
city.
on, Pedro.
the thing about I mean, well, the thing I do the one thing that I really appreciate about both Fair Fencer F and the Neptunia games, because the Neptunia the Fair Fencer F is made by the exact same team that makes the Neptunia games, like and you can tell because literally it's gameplay wise it's basically a copy paste of Neptunia, but I'm kind of the battles I'm okay with that for the battle system because I really like the Neptunia battle system. It's actually really good.
Yeah. And they definitely improve on that in these sequels, but we can talk about that later. Go on.
I would argue even the first one already has a great well. Then again, I'm talking about the first one's remake, not the original PS3 Neptunia one. Maybe that one's different.
We'll talk about. Actually, they may be different enough to warrant different playthroughs. I need to recheck that.
I'm planning on getting the 3-in-1 PS3 disc trilogy that has all 3 PS3 games in one disc. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think that the remake does heavily improve on the trilogy. I mean, on the original, to the point where I think it gives it.
Granted, I'm not an expert.
More.
Basically, it's like this. The first game I played by compiled was Fire Fence Ref, which is, and then when
that's definitely a bad first impression.
Well, it's the one. Well, remember Jova, Nobuo Uematsu and Yoshitaka Amano, so it kind of drew my attention because of that.
Wow,
that's the thing. Like, it was clearly trying to attract Final Fantasy fans with that. Anyway,
well, of course it is. They've even got a character named Fang.
Yeah, I guess. But basically, there's a character in Final Fantasy 13 who's called Fang. Anyway. It's after playing Fire Fence Ref and Fire Fence Ref and Dark Force, I played Neptunia Rebirth 1. For those who don't know, it's a remake. It's a PS Vita /PC remake of the original PS3 Neptunia 1, the original Neptunia game.
Which most people say is the definitive version of the game for big reasons, but
which makes me shudder at how supposedly bad the original PS3 version is, because I find the remake boring. But anyway. But yeah, gameplay-wise, Neptunia Rebirth 1 is literally exactly the same as Fire Fence Ref. It's the exact same battle system, the exact same battle mechanics, the exact same progression and world map structure. It's abundantly clear that this company works on such a very tight budget. They almost all of their games are copy-pasted from a mechanics standpoint. Like I said, it's from a backwards perspective. Fire Fence Ref is basically the Neptunia team literally copy pasting their gameplay into a different setting and characters. It's kind of.
I'm trying to remember. In regards to the Neptunia series, when was Fire Fence Ref made?
Fire Fence Ref, the original PS3 version came out in 2013 in Japan, 14 in the West. And then in 2015, the enhanced PS4 version, Advent Dark Force, came out in 2015 in Japan and 2016 in the West. And earlier this year, we got the PC version of that. So right now, there's actually the two. What I find interesting, the original Fire Fence Ref came out on the PS3. And since the PS4 is not backwards compatible with the PS3, it's not like you can get two versions of that same game in the same system. But both Fire Fence Ref and Fire Fence Ref Advent Dark Force are on Steam. So an uninitiated person who might not have done some pro research might end up buying the PC version of the original crappier version.
Or somebody like, it just has a nostalgia heart on. Yeah. But yeah, from what
I've played all the way throughout both versions. The original Fire Fence Ref has some shit frame rate, and that's kind of mind-boggling because this team has made 3 PS3 games before this, and yet, and keep in mind, Shiroi, the graphics in these games are so cheap that they look more like they came out of the Nintendo Wii rather than the PS3. So you'd think a game on the PS3 with Nintendo Wii graphics would be able to sustain a consistent 30 frames per second, but no, it's still chugged. Especially, you might argue, well, maybe it's an inexperienced thing. No, they've made 3 PS3 games, 3 Neptunia games on the PS3 before they made Fire Fence Ref. So what the fuck happened here?
Which is weird because, the Neptunia remake is like the opposite in how well they ported it. Like, it runs well, looks better, runs smoother. I get the feeling that Neptunia is their poster child series because,
Neptunia is their cash cow. It's literally the only franchise of theirs that's actually popular enough for them to live off of it. That's why it's the only franchise of theirs that has spin-offs and anime and all that shit.
Remind me, Pedro, are there transformations in Fairy Fence Ref?
Yes, it's literally the mechanics of the transformations from Neptunia copy-pasted. It's literally the exact same thing. Gameplay-wise, I mean. Obviously, story-wise, they give it different names and shit. But for gameplay speaking, it's the exact same thing.
Did they have their equivalent to the next forms?
Yes. Again, Jova, it's literally a reskin of Neptunia.
No.
It's literally a reskin.
I'm talking about the next forms. NEXT.
Oh, that. Yes.
Yeah, you know, basically where they go into high performance based off of next gen consoles.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
So there's something like that in Very Fun Stuff too.
Yeah. Basically, what they do is they merge with their fairies, and which is a puzzle. Well, no, don't worry, Dwebs. It's a Dragon Ball Z Steven Universe style of fusion.
Okay.
Where they merge with their fairies and they turn into Super Saiyan anime mode. It's basically the same thing when you get right down to it. Yeah.
And then did they go to the mode above that? You know, hence the next forms.
And of course the English anime music starts playing.
Oh boy, my favorite.
Apparently, what separates that from the later Neptunia games is that the later Neptunia games made sure to mix up the formula somewhat by adding in, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but they had like these. Oh, right.
Refund quick.
All right. They had like those extra party members you could have, whereas the first game was, you know, basically your standard party member right on. They later incorporated different fight styles and whatnot.
I've only played Rebirth 1, so I wouldn't know.
Well, yeah.
That's another thing. The subtitles for the titles for the Neptunia games can be a bit dumb.
Yeah, basically, Shiro, here's how it is. We have Hyperdimension Neptunia, and that's it, that's how it's named. Then we have Hyperdimension Neptunia MK2. Okay, that's the second one, obviously. Then the third one is called Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory, or just V. And then the fourth one is called Hyperdimension Neptunia V2, as in Victory 2.
And then there's apparently
but it's stylized to the point it looks like a 7.
Yeah. So it can be quite confusing for newcomers, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, oh, I mean, the Neptunia series may seem good, but I will give you that their names could be pretty stupid. I hear that their newest game coming is something called Zero Dimension.
I mean, that'd be like what if Uncharted just skipped number 3 and went to 4?
Well, that's again, Delicious with Larry did that as a joke. It skipped number 4.
Yeah. And Microsoft also did that as a joke. Oh, wait.
That's the thing. It wasn't.
Well, actually, I think there were technical issues that meant they couldn't. Or something.
Yes. After Xbox 360, we get Xbox One. Wait, what?
Yeah,
everybody's
already made
Xbox
that
One,
joke.
we get and then after Xbox One, we get Xbox One S or Xbox One X.
And then after
Kids
hey Deji, after Battlefield 4, we got Battlefield 1.
So many kids are gonna be confused this holiday season, and parents.
I mean, whatever next? Are we gonna get after The Last of Us Part 2 comes out, we go right to Last of Us Part 6?
Well, I'll give you this, Joe. But like
it skips too. But basically, I got the pitch for it, guys, as well. Last of Us Part 6, we play as a Joel who's like 95 years old, and we have to try and get him to on the boat or something.
Right.
And there's two methods we can die: if we get eaten by zombies, or if Joel doesn't drink enough water so that he dies of old age.
Anyway, what were you saying, Pedro?
Well, I can at least tell you this, Joe. Both me and Teo, granted, we've only seen the first hour of it. But the most recent PS4 game they released, Dark Rose Valkyrie, which was unlike which was written by Takumi.
Oh yeah, wasn't that one also done by Compile Heart?
Yeah, Compile Heart, Dark Rose Valkyrie. It was written by Takumi Miyajima, the writer of Tales of Symphonia and Tales of the Abyss. And he also wrote Arc Fantasia, which is a sadly underrated game on the Wii. And aside from that, it also has Kozuki Fushijima, one of the character designers of the Tales series. So that one is apparently trying to aim the Tales fans. But from the first hour that me and Teo have seen, it actually seems like I can tell that it's so far their best written game just from the opening hour alone. The characters actually talk like fucking human beings. For once.
Yeah, didn't you say that it was more mystery based?
No, well, that and it's more serious in tone. It's not. There's no fourth wall breaking. There's no trope demolishing. It's actually played straight.
You also mentioned something about it being more Ace Attorney styled.
I can see that. Like, it's the worst, of course, is still Fair and Seraph in terms of writing, because here's the basic gist of the jokes in Fair and Seraph. Somebody does something stupid, the trumpet theme plays, because, funny, and then someone points out that the character is being stupid, and that's funny. That's basically it. That's literally 90% of the jokes in that game.
Jeez, at least we're gonna have fun reading the dialogue in Neptunia.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of VA for us to do.
How even the VAs themselves took the piss.
Here's the thing. Don't forget, Webs. I'm gonna be needing you to bust out your stiff upper lip, stereotypical British butler voice.
You're having Shiroi
Yes,
be
sir.
Neptunia, right?
Yes, I'm having Shiroi voice Tiara, one of the main female leads.
By the way,
Well-
Mr. Pedro, what was that game you wanted me to do my little girl voice in?
Don't worry, it will come.
So,
Okay, senpai.
Well, I don't want you. Well, for
Senpai.
for Aaron, you don't. For Aaron, it's basically do a more like a teenage girl voice for Aaron. But
Sure, whatever.
yeah, that works.
so I forgot which
Go.
one.
Emma, I guess.
Oh, you'll be doing Tiara, and you'll also be doing Karen, since she's a fairy that has cat ears. So I'm sure it'll be
Okay.
perfect for you.
So let's see.
Stop
So,
right there.
let's see. So in Neptunia, you're having Shiroi voice Neptune and you
were asking the voices for Neptunia. Okay, I misunderstood.
Oh.
Well,
That's what I meant. That's what I meant when I said at least in that game we'll have fun reading the dialogues.
well, since Shiro is voicing Lola, I'm obviously gonna have her voice Kompa.
Which one's
Lola is that little fairy that looks like she's 8.
Oh,
Shiro.
cutscene.
Cutscene, yeah, cutscene.
Ow.
Joel, stop! Look,
Leave him alone.
Oops.
Oh dear.
Easy, son. Just take it easy.
They're not the bad guys. Lower the gun.
Well, to be fair, he attacked us first.
Man, you hit hard.
Yeah, well, I was trying to kill you.
Yeah, I thought you were one of them too. Then I saw you.
I don't think there are any zombies that can
Yeah, I
climb through
noticed they don't
window.
keep kids around.
Yeah, what he said.
Survival of the fittest.
You're bleeding.
It's just nothing.
It's okay, just use a bandage like I do whenever I get hurt.
It's Sam. I think I caught your name was Joel.
Ellie.
How many are with you?
They're all dead.
Hey, we don't know that.
Wait. So the father's name is Henry.
Actually, they're brothers.
Someone had the brilliant idea of entering the
Huh?
city.
They're brothers.
Wait, Henry.
Really, though?
There's a person here. Wait, Henry. There's a person here called Sam.
Now it's all about
Was this secretly hitting
Ah.
at Uncharted 4?
Ellie.
Safety in numbers and all that.
True, Ellie has a point.
could help each other.
So yeah, these two are going to be our tag team partners.
Be safer if we chat there.
All right, take us there.
All right.
Follow me.
Sorry about that.
Right.
Gun.
Yeah, sorry about the whole gun and trying to kill your thing.
Where are you from?
All the way from Hartford.
Really? I heard some bad stuff.
Connecticut, eh?
Where is Hartford located, Jova?
Connecticut.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what Connecticut is, so I might as well ask again. Where is Connecticut like a big state or something?
Yeah, it's one of the square-shaped.
Oh,
states.
Connecticut is where WWE's headquarters are based.
Ah, okay. That explains why you know.
But yeah, as I was saying, for as many faults as I will give to the first Neptunia game, its dialogue is still fun in places. Which I'm guessing it's not the case for Fairy Friends Wrath.
I'll let you be the judge of that, since we're almost done with Ace
Which one
Attorney
was
free anyway.
Neptunia again?
Neptunia is that one that has the gotta catch 'em all joke that I showed you. Anyway, the point
I'll
is,
say again, since Pedro showed me an episode, the anime does it better, but not much.
anyway, to basically, Joe, what I'm gonna do is, since I'm having Shiro voiced Lola in Fire Fence RF, and Kompa is both Kompa and Lola are voiced by Christina V. aka oh, look at that, Jova.
Yeah.
Look what we found. A Jack plushie.
Huh.
A Jack and Dexter plushies, actually.
Cute, cute, cute. Anyway, I was mainly talking about the CPUs at the time, but
well, both the voice actresses, both their human and CPU counterparts. So I guess we'll just do the same.
I recall you mentioned that you were gonna have Shiroi voice one of the main duo.
Yes, she'll be voicing Compa. As for Iffy, I'm a bit hesitant about whether to be Dwebs or you. We'll see. As for Neptune, I was thinking of maybe using Dwebs' Since I think Dwebs would be much better as Neptunia than Shiroi. I think you can be Iffy, Jova.
Which one's Neptunia? The main character.
The main character, the Sega, the Sega representative. Yeah.
Is she's the youngest one, right?
Yeah. Well, kinda. Yeah.
So,
by the way, speaking of Sega, have you guys seen that that apparent crossover between? It might just be a product one. I've forgotten what it was exactly. But have you heard of that crossover between Sega Hard Girls and Sonic?
Trying to think.
So yeah, Sonic's got his own harem now.
Yeah, link that to me. Anyway, though.
I don't have a link exactly. You might have to look it up.
But anyway, I guess you'll have Shiroi be Nepgear for the sequel. Oh, you haven't played those.
Not yet, no.
Basically, to explain in the later sequels, the CPUs, except for Vert for obvious reasons, get little sisters based off of their handheld counterparts.
I love how they actually got the actual line here, Dark Horse Comics, which is an actual comic publisher. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it. If this was like Logan, that comic could actually be a vital plot point.
Oh, really? There's a comic book in Logan that's a plot point?
Basically, Logan's carrying around a X-Men comic that
get it?
that the little girl has who travels.
Wow, that's literally taken from The Last of Us.
And the comic is actually an important plot point for later on in the movie.
Interesting.
So Jova, people wanted the X-Men films to take more from the comics. There you go. They literally took the comics.
Webs, don't forget Webs. It still doesn't beat what the Hulk 60s show does, which is literally just animate the comic panels. Can get more faithful than that.
Yeah, I think Logan does it cleverer.
Obviously. I mean.
Anyway.
Oh, this is important.
Yeah, cutscene.
The rule. What is it? We only take what we have to. That's right. Now, come on.
Keep a mental note for that later. Anyway, go ahead, Jova.
How far is this place?
If Dwebs is gonna be Neptunia, I guess it's only fitting I be Noir, who's often the straight man to
yeah, it makes sense. Sure, you can be Noir. I'll have Tail be Vert, I guess. Nah, actually no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
I'm the Xbox owner here. I'm the Xbox One owner here, so I guess I'll have to be Vert.
It also works because I've been playing
Persona 5 for so long, and there's a character in that game whose nickname is Noir.
You know, you being Vert actually works since he's the oldest and biggest of them. Well, okay, oldest.
By biggest, Jova means she has boobs that there's no way a normal functioning human being would have. Anyway.
No. There are plenty of normal functioning physics. No. There are plenty of normal functioning human beings who have breasts that big. She just likes to brag about them.
All right, see everybody for the next part.
I guess that means Shiroi will be Blanc, or
so what's her theme song?
Let's cut Jova off now.
Yes,
Hey, Pedro's the one who mentioned it first.
So, Joe,
that's such a good point. But I'm finishing this part first.
Anyway, let's put this to an end with.
See you, everybody.